product or service is the exercise we're going to do. But essentially this morning he was talking about the questions that you answer and asking the right questions so you get the right answer, so you know the right reason that they want to buy so you can close them the right way, right? And he quoted someone, I forget who it was, but he quoted, and the person said that the person who asks the right questions has the power in sales. And Grant was like, man, that's fucking bullshit. It's the person who gets the answers who actually has the power. You could ask as many questions as you want, but if they're not being answered, you're not getting anywhere, right? So when he was talking about the pitch, he's like, you gotta be fact-finding. You gotta find the facts. And there's dominant buying questions, which would be like, why did you buy this product? Why did you even stop in the store today? What do you like about what you have right now? What do you not like about what you have right now? Why did you fill out the card? Why did you call me? Right? Those are dominant buying questions, like straight to the point, why? Right? But people buy for two reasons. They either love it, which means it's sexy, or it solves their problem, right? So the fact-finding questions, they fall under three categories. It's what, why, and how. You got to find like what they bought, like why, what they bought it for, why they bought it, and how they want to move forward with it, how they want to use it, the hell they're looking for with it. So examples of it would literally be like, what do you want? Why do you want it? How do you want it? Do you want it tonight? Do you want it tomorrow morning? Do you want it delivered? You want us to set it up now? You know what I mean? So those are some what, why, and hows. But oh, and if you're doing a question like is it liquid, or how much liquid do you have in your bank right now? Some people feel uncomfortable answering those personal questions, right? So a way to make them feel comfortable when they're answering it is to give them a range. Like, oh, how liquid are you right now? Is it between 10,000 and 6 million? And then if they fall anywhere in there, they'll feel comfortable answering it, because they're not just throwing out some random number and feel judged. You gave them a huge range to throw down in, and they're just like, oh, okay, yeah, it's 400,000, right? And they feel good about it. So anyways, he was saying, when you're fact-finding, when you're trying to ask the right questions so you can get the right answers, so you know the right way to close them, do not move on to the next question. And this falls in our 7 levels, right? Like, in the next 6 to 18 months, where do you want to be? How much money do you want to make? Blah, 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 going through it. Do not move on to the next question unless you have the answer to the question before, right? Even if you have to literally ask it again. Like, where do you want to be in the next 6 to 18 months? Oh, I don't know, man. Like, I'm still thinking about it. I don't know. I have a bunch of stuff that comes up, blah, blah, blah. Instead of like that's not an answer, right? Instead of going down and being like, okay, how much money are you looking to make then? Like, no, like, just re-ask it, man. Like, oh, I don't know. I haven't thought about it that much. Okay, but where do you want to be in the next 6 to 18 months? Like, where? And you're like, oh, I don't know. Where do you want to be? Next 6 to 18 months. Where? It's not hard, right? Ask them the question, get the answer, and then move on. And that's how you'll find your facts, and that's how you understand the person. If you move on prematurely, you're going to blow the sale. You won't know. You won't understand them. Your prospect won't feel even heard or figured anything out on the call. He'll be confused. He'll get off the call confused. You're confused on how to close them. You've got to get the answer to the question before you move on to the next question, so that you know how you're going to close them, how you can gauge your demonstration, your presentation, your pitch, right? So an easy way to recognize when somebody gives you the right answer that you can move forward and finally close them on it is like identifying the top 7 reasons someone would buy your product or your service, right? Like, these are the top reasons that anybody would buy it. And then this way, if you hear one of these in the presentation, like, you can go in and you can kind of exploit that, right? It'll be a lot easier to recognize a buyer from a non-buyer if you know the reasons why someone would buy it, right? Because in every single market, every single target audience, there's going to be buyers, and there's a certain percentage who are just non-buyers. They're never going to buy, right? So by identifying these, it's going to be a lot simpler to know which prospect to keep going on and which one to just filter out of the pipeline, right? So yeah, let's list off some some reasons that someone would buy our product or service. And before we do that, also even asking the hard questions in your sales pitch, stuff that like a lot of salespeople feel uncomfortable asking, maybe on the call, like, okay, I know why you got it, but is there any reason you wouldn't move forward with the product today? Is there any reason you wouldn't buy it? And then that way they don't have to ask themselves when they get off the call, right? They feel uncomfortable, they have a follow-up appointment set, they get off the call, and then they're going to start going through their own head, okay, why wouldn't I get this? And then they're going to make up stories and reasons why they shouldn't buy it. And it's going to grow on them because they're thinking in their head, and you're not on the call with them still. So on the call, if they have to, I don't know, run the numbers, and the numbers don't make sense, they can't do it quick enough on the call, and that's a reason why they wouldn't buy it, you got to ask them that question, is there a reason why you wouldn't buy it? So they could be like, yeah, well, I need to calculate the number. Like, is there a reason you wouldn't do this in the next 2 minutes? And they're like, well, I got to do the numbers. And it's like, hey, let's do the numbers. You want them to do it on the call with you, as opposed to hopping off the call, doing it themselves, and then being like, okay, fuck, maybe I shouldn't do this, and then going through their heads, right? You want to hear why they wouldn't do it. You want to help them through it, and then solve that problem, and then solve their bigger problem with your product or service, right? So, top 7 reasons people would buy our product, our service here. Whether it's assessment bundle, our mid-tickets, or our coaching.
They want a system.
Yeah, they want a system. What is that? Like, they want guidance. They want a checklist to prove, like, something they know is going to work.
They want to learn how to invest in real estate.
Yeah, that's a big one, definitely. They want to learn how to invest in real estate. Or they don't know how to invest in real estate. I guess it's the same thing.
And help putting the pieces together. They've got random pieces all over the place, so they don't know how it actually all comes together.
Yeah. That's 3.
They want to move forward with their lives.
Yeah, they want something bigger. They want to move forward with their lives.
They want somebody to hold their hand from A to Z. That's already done it before.
Yeah, like they wanna feel safe, secure.
Yeah. They want to be guided.
Yeah.
So at this point, they know they can't do it on their own.
They feel like they're capable of more, but don't know how to do more.
That's a big one for sure.
Ultimately, they're trying to mitigate the risk of loss.
Okay, so we have 9. So that's not an answer to this, right? What's our top 7? We got 9 here. What's the top 7?
I think from the, I think the last one's pretty strong.
Last
They
one.
want to know that that they're not going to lose everything.
Yeah.
It's super easy to lose money if you don't know what you're doing.
With the mitigating of risk, you can put a slash with a guarantee of results.
Yeah.
Okay.
Results. I think this one definitely, they feel like they're capable of more. Like they have bigger
100%.
dreams, they have bigger aspirations, they know they deserve more than what they're doing,
Mhm.
and they're trying to find out how they're going to get more.
You could push it together with the one above it as well.
Yeah.
Maybe they feel like they're capable of more, but they know that they can't do it on their own.
Yeah. 2.
They want to learn how to invest in real estate. I feel like that's
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Huge one.
a
3.
With a repeatable system.
Yeah. They want a system. They want
They want it to be. They want to be guided through it safely.
Which almost connects in with
6.
2.
And then there we go. 7 pieced
7.
together.
Boom.
But no, so yeah, these are the top 7 reasons somebody would come to us for our help, for our service, right? So if you're on the phone and you hear somebody talking about something that relates to one of these, then you know what their buying motivation is, because here's the top 7 reasons someone would even buy it, right? So watch out for these and make sure you do not move on to the next question if you don't have an answer to the question you asked, right? And I'm sure that's even essential for you in your T3 calls, is when you're going through the 7 levels, especially on a high ticket item, you probably do not move on to the next question until they've answered the question that you're looking for. And an actual answer, not some like bullshit, like, oh, I haven't looked into it, I've just been thinking about it. It's like, no, like, give me an actual fucking answer, and then let's move on, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll dig in.
Yeah. You gotta find the facts, right?
They're like, oh, it's like my mindset. I'm like, okay, well, what about your mindset?
Yeah.
Like, you know, pull it out.
Yeah, like, let's get to the facts. Like, I'll listen to your bullshit, I'll hear it, but let's get to the fact, and then we'll keep moving. Fact.
Yeah.
And then you know how to pitch them. And then you also know their buying motivation, the reason they would buy, and then also the other 7 reasons other people would buy, right? And so identifying these, and wherever you go, like whatever product, whatever service, whatever company you work for, these reasons will help you recognize buyers and the non-buyers, and push the non-buyers away, bring the non-buyers in, but also probably create new buyers, because you know the motivations of them and of everybody else, right? So
I like it.
Very nice.